second transformer explodes in a week. Electricity supply disrupted again.
Island-wide power failure is a violation of the transmission license. Statement from the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka.
Former President Bandaranaike says there is no issue in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
මැතිව පන්නන්න ලංකාව හැමතැනම රැස්වීම් තිය ගියා ඔය ඊයේ කෙරුවා වාගේ. ඒ වුණාට අපි පක්ෂ බේරාගෙන පක්ෂ අවුරුදු 17කට පස්සේ බලයටත් ගෙනාවනේ.
School teachers in the Putlam zone take sick leave against the actions of a monitoring public representative.
Phase 1 of the Newsfirst at the door-to-door campaign, having covered all 25 districts, concludes.
Hello, good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News on TV1 and Shakti TV. I'm Nadim Majid.
And I'm Bernadine Jaisingh. A very good evening to you. A transformer at the Opatha substation in Katagoda caught fire today. The incident comes less than a week after a transformer in the Biyagama grid substation exploded.
A transformer at the Opatha electricity substation had caught fire around 1 this afternoon. The Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy says that the transformer was one similar to the transformer that exploded at the Biyagama grid substation recently. Police said that the fire was doused with the assistance of the Sri Lanka Air Force and the fire department. Our correspondent reported that the Sri Lanka Air Force security detail was provided to this substation from Wednesday. This transformer is located on the coast that supplies electricity from Norachole to Colombo. The fire was reported several hours after the two generators at the Norachole power plant were returned to operation. The two generators added 600 megawatts of power to the national grid. Following the incident, the electricity obtained from Norachole to the national grid was restricted to 450 megawatts. We are faced with a serious challenge, a serious engineering challenge to control the overall system. This is not the time to speak about why this is destroyed, but this situation can be identified as a serious disaster situation in the country. Repairs on the damaged transformer commenced this evening while the subject minister also arrived at the location. We have managed the situation, preventing it from affecting the national grid like last Sunday. Norachole is functioning at the moment. We believe that we will be able to manage the situation with minimum inconvenience. All the committees that were appointed by the President will convene tomorrow. Those committees will include this incident in their report as well. A new transformer was fixed to replace the transformer that was destroyed in an explosion at the Biyagama grid substation on the 13th of this month. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka says that the island-wide power failure is a violation of Licence Condition 30. In a letter addressed to the General Manager of the Ceylon Electricity Board, the Public Utilities Commission says it is the responsibility of the transmission licensee under Condition 30 of the transmission licence to maintain an uninterrupted power supply throughout the country. It adds that the Commission had conducted a comprehensive study on the failure on the 27th of September 2015 and had observed several shortcomings. The letter adds that if the transmission licensee does not agree with the recommendations, communications must be made before the 24th and the CEB is directed to design long-term measures to avoid system failures in the future.
Having covered all districts in the island, Phase 1 of Sri Lanka's largest public service initiative, the Newsfirst at the door-to-door campaign, which reached out to the most rural areas in Sri Lanka, concluded today. Newsfirst will keep you informed on the commencement of Phase 2 of the at the door-to-door campaign in the near future.
At the door-to-door, a national public service initiative.
The Newsfirst at the door-to-door campaign, which toured the northern and eastern provinces, commenced the day at Mahaoya in Ampara. This is the road which leads to Pollebadda from Mahaoya. The road not only causes difficulty for locals to travel on, but also poses many health risks.
They are reluctant to send their children to preschool. Parents complain that they can't send their children to preschool because of the dust.
Later, the team visited the indigenous community in Pollebadda. Regulations imposed by persons attempting to destroy the environment have posed serious issues to the livelihoods of the indigenous people whose lives depend on nature. This house in Pollebadda shows signs of the lifestyles of members of the indigenous community. Another team based in Ampara visited Anantalawa, where they came across an individual who was traumatized by the conflict. This war hero who lives in this village is one who puts his country before himself, sacrificing his sight in the war.
The brutality of the war, which ended in the year 2009, is felt by those who survived it. An individual like this man who's standing onto my left. He lost his eye fighting for the motherland. Today, he has no other option but to have all hope on God. He does not have proper food to eat. He has his 2 children to look after, and he has a family to look after as well. What is left for him is only hope. Hope from God. Shamir Rasuldin reporting from Mahoya in the east of the country.
Periyapullamale is another village that was battered by the war for years. This mother is still waiting for the return of her son who went missing 10 years ago.
Is it easy for you to live with your loved ones? Well, it is hard. But digging deep through into Rani Amma's story, she lost her son in the war when he was in grade 8. Ever since, she has been in the search for her son, running from pillar to pillar, but still she has not lost hope. This is just one woman in the search of her loved ones. She is waiting for the return of her son. Joel Outschool, News First.
போனவர் எங்க போனாரு என்ன செஞ்சாரு என்ன நடந்துச்சு நம்மள பிள்ளைக்கு எனக்கு ஒன்றுமே தெரியும். அவர் தான் கடைசி மகன், நல்ல படிப்பார், நல்ல கெட்டிக்கார மகன். என்ன நடந்தது?
The Newsfirst Gum at the door-to-door team in the Nuwara district commenced their journey today from the Sri Ganga Rama temple in Madagahawatura, Nawalapitiya. This 3-kilometer stretch of road from Madagahawatura to Nawalapitiya has turned what should be a means of transport into a death trap.
My husband got a sudden heart attack. We took him to the hospital in a 3-wheeler. We had to take him on this road. We would have saved his life if the road wasn't in a bad state.
After noting the issues of the people residing on either side of this road, the team reached Ingruo, a new village. The locals here are mainly skilled in making creations using twigs and are now faced with obstacles in continuing their trade. This couple who continue this trade despite the obstacles cannot speak, and you cannot put a price tag on their skills of creation. Another team in the Nuwara district reached the Soisakale labour house in Nawalapitiya. These 117 houses, which are around 200 years old, have only 9 public toilets. The place where these people are in right now can slide down when it rains again. Landslides take place. This is the Soisakale Vatta in Nawalapitiya. There are 117 houses. But the problem is all the 117 houses use only 9 toilets. The sewage from these 9 toilets flows down this drain.
මේ කාණු දිගේ ගලා යන්නේ ඒ වැසිකිලි නවයෙන් පිට කරන මල ද්‍රව්‍ය.
The Newsfirst Gum at the team in the Western Province visited the Alutkurua fishing village in Nigambo today. One team toured the Nigambo lagoon to identify issues faced by the fishermen.
The use of prawn nets is a serious threat. We have complained about this, but no action has been taken. Another team reached out to Alutkurua, Pitipana and surrounding villages in Negombo. Locals say that the dry fish industry and swine pens operated by outsiders have destroyed the beauty of the lagoon and created many health risks.
Gum at the door-to-door, a national public service initiative.
Lecturers attached to the University of Kelaniya continue to refrain from conducting lectures to the senior students at the university. This has been done as a mark of protest against the ragging of newcomers to the university.
The Teachers Association at the University of Kelaniya recently abstained from engaging in academic activities, citing incidents of ragging of newly enrolled students to the Kelaniya University by the senior students. The lecturers claim that despite warnings, the senior students continue to rag the newcomers.
It must be clearly noted that ragging does not take place in the induction programs. We responsibly state that we have never told anyone not to attend lectures. This is only an induction and familiarization program. The new students are forced to wear different types of clothes. They force them to cut their hair short. At times, we have seen these students fall on the ground unconscious. The student leaders attempt to establish the view that this is not ragging, but we do not agree to this. The University Teachers Association had taken a decision not to conduct lectures to the senior students following threats and intimidation. The classes of 4 students have been suspended. We have received a number of complaints as well. We will take the required action. I have informed the students that if I continue to receive any more complaints, action will be taken according to the Act. Ragging is not experienced everywhere. It is only done in certain universities. Some do not have it. In truth, the administration lies with the Vice-Chancellor and the Administrative Board. A solution should be provided to this after the Vice-Chancellor, the lecturers and the students discuss it from within the university itself. Students at 204 schools in the Putlam education zone were forced to return home today as a result of all principals and teachers in the zone calling in sick. While the principals and teachers were not all struck by sudden illness, the fact that they reported sick nonetheless indicates an ailment has gripped education in the Putlam zone. The sickness caused by political interference was brought to bear 3 years ago at the Nawalarattegama Vidyalaya in Anamadua. This was caused when a monitoring councillor for education in the Northwestern Provincial Council visited the school and made a teacher kneel before him. While the law was enforced in this case, a political decision that must be appreciated was also made. The decision in question was that the political party from which this councillor hails decided not to grant him a nomination to be re-elected to the Provincial Council. However, no steps were taken to investigate and rectify the illegal mandate under which this council was able to enter a public school while classes were underway and enact the law of the jungle. The illegal mandate in question is the position of monitoring councillor. Incidentally, the arbitrary monitoring councillor position is what belies the situation at 204 schools in the Putlam zone today. Just as a teacher was made to kneel by a monitoring councillor 3 years ago, an accusation of assaulting the zonal education director of Putlam has been levelled at another monitoring councillor. As a result of principals and teachers unions standing against this backdrop, the principals and teachers staged a sick note campaign against illegal and barbaric interference in education. Such barbaric behavior has led to anarchy in many of the schools in Putlam. The most recent example of this is the decision taken by the principal of the Dharmapala Primary School in Putlam to abandon his position after making an entry in the logbook. The principal's reasons for leaving this school as per the entry is that he was verbally abused with profane language by the leader of the House of the North-Western Provincial Council. Considering the message delivered by the teachers and principals who brought to a halt education at 204 schools in the zone, shouldn't steps be taken to abolish the arbitrary position of monitoring councillor, which has become a tool for political interference in education? Secretary to the President, this is over to you.
High Court Judge Lalit Udaya Jayasuriya was sworn in as a Justice of the Court of Appeal today.
Lalit Udaya Jayasuriya was sworn in before President Maithripala Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat. Secretary to the President P.B. Abeykoon also was present at this occasion.
Advisor to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga responded to questions raised by journalists at an event today. Questions were raised from the President over the Hyde Park rally that was held with the participation of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa yesterday.
That meeting has no connection to today's event, but I assume it is suitable to speak of that meeting when we speak of dirt and garbage. There is no inability. We witnessed how he did it for 9 years. That is why the people drove them away. Let us talk about it separately. There is no issue in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. President Sirisena is chairman of the party. The official party is in the government. Another group is trying to make noise. They were engaged in thievery, and now since they have nothing to do, they must be having some sort of uneasiness. No one takes notice of this. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party will move forward. There is no issue at all. There are problems in all the parties. The same Mahinda Rajapaksa tried to divide the party into two by driving Sirimavo away in 1980. They held meetings all around the country like they did yesterday to chase Sirimavo away. But we saved the party and kept in power for 17 years. So that is not a huge issue. There have been divisions even in the UNP, even we have it. The people are with us and we will move forward. There are a group of MPs who committed thievery and they cannot do so under the good governance.
A project to generate electricity using waste was launched in Veyangoda today under the auspices of former President Chandrika Bandaranaike. A capacity of 3.4 megawatts would be generated in the project designed using Korean technology.
The 6th Asian Development Forum was held in Colombo today under the auspices of the Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake.
The Asian Development Forum was established in 2010 to communicate the development issues in Asia with the international communities. The main motive of the 6th Asian Development Forum was to discuss the concerns of the Asian economies over the implementation of the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development. Vice President of the Asian Development Bank, Bang Susantono, also graced the event.
We believe that internalization of the Agenda 2030 will be a good starting point for Sri Lanka. According to His Excellency President Maithripala Sirisena address in UN General Assembly in last August 2015, Sri Lanka pledged to continue the work with the UN and other states to achieve their specific development goals by year 2030 with special focus on poverty alleviation, achieving food security, energy, education, minimizing income disparity and urban development. I believe that Sri Lanka has a favorable and stable political leadership and bestowed with the human and economic potentials to initiate the 2030 agenda successfully.
The Court of Appeal has decided to consider the petition filed by the Mahajana Eksat Peramuna against the national list of the United People's Freedom Alliance on the 29th of June.
The petition, which was filed by the Vice President of the Mahajana Eksat Peramuna or the People's United Front, Somavira Chandasiri, seeks a decision from court annulling the appointments made through the national list of the UPFA. Justice A.H.M.D. Nawaz ordered that the case be taken up on the 29th of June following a request put forth by the lawyer representing the respondents to postpone hearings of the petition. There was a news report declaring that parliamentarians are to receive a host of allowances and benefits. The truth here is that there is a House Committee in Parliament. Proposals regarding this have been adopted in the House Committee, but no one from the joint opposition was present at the time. At a time when the people are facing problems and false promises, at a time when the government has bankrupted the country, this is a joke. As a joint opposition, we are opposed to this step.
The court case filed against Wimal Weerawansa and 6 others in connection with the protest outside the UN office in Colombo causing public inconvenience was taken up once again today. The case was taken up before Colombo Magistrate Gihan Pilapitiya.
The Cinnamon Gardens police had filed this case pertaining to the rally that took place on the 2nd of February. Senior Superintendent of Police Ajit Rohana, who steered the complaint, noted that the group had behaved at the location in a manner which caused inconvenience to the general public. The Chief Magistrate had questioned the suspects as to why public representatives violate the laws that are compiled and passed in Parliament. However, the suspect failed to respond to the question. The Chief Magistrate noted that there was a rise in the number of rallies that caused inconvenience to the general public. The police to take action on such events according to the police ordinance and ordered surety bails for the suspects of 100,000 rupees.
We informed court on the legal situation on this matter. Court ordered them to be present at the police station to record their statements. After recording their statements, we will take legal action. Our legal team raised questions as to why the law is not being implemented when the leader of the UNP and others hold demonstrations at the Lipton Circus, causing public disturbances. Court informed the police to record a statement on that.
Police discovered the body of a murdered woman from a forest area in Marava, Munaragala. Police said that the victim, a preschool teacher, was reported missing since last afternoon.
The victim was 54-year-old B. Somawati from Thenagallanda. She served as preschool teacher in the Vadikumar area in Marava. Afterwards, she had set off to Thenagallanda via this by-road located in Kuleara.
I'm here in the Marava Kuleara by-road where the victim's body was found just 200 meters away from this area.
A colleague at the preschool noted that the victim left the preschool last afternoon with another woman.
She left with a parent who always comes at around 11:30.
The victim, a single woman, lived with her sister.
If she's going anywhere, she calls and informs me of her whereabouts. Yesterday, her phone wasn't working. Since her phone wasn't working, I checked the bus which comes at 5 in the evening. I checked the bus which comes at 7 in the night as well. That was when I decided to search for her.
A new police station was declared open in Weeravilla Tissa Maharaman today.
Ministers Sajid Premadasa and Sagal Ratnayaka, former Speaker Chama Rajapaksa and Inspector General of Police N.K. Langahorn graced the occasion. The new police station was declared open following religious observances.
It is said that the people and the police are like the tree trunk and the bark. Some say the police and the people are like the ocean and the fish that live in it. In this case, the people are the fish. If there is no water, then the fish will die. If there is no public support, the police cannot function. This is the meaning of these sayings. It is based on this concept that we are trying as much as possible at present to bring the police closer to the people. There needs to be change in the behavior of politicians as well. We need to bring an end to the era where politicians go into police stations and interfere. We need to completely stop complicity in crime. Politicians cannot get their friends appointed as HQIs as and when they wish. They cannot secure transfers as per their whim and fancy. They cannot hold political rallies with the intervention of the police. They cannot use the police on political targets. That era has changed completely. Wages must reflect the service rendered. Serving for 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week, 365 days of the year is not the same as an 8-hour workday. We need to introduce technology to the police. Through technology, we need to ensure expediency and efficiency in the police service. We are working towards a program to bring progress to the police, to bring progress to the service rendered to the people by the police, and to bring professional progress for police officers. It is not a good time for the police. I do not know if this has been set right, but it is not a good time. The respect for this service must be upheld. The police department, policemen and women do not receive the due respect. We constantly change colours between blue, green and red, but the police uniform never changes. The minister has proposed a change in the colour of the uniform, but I do not know if it will change. I suppose it must. There must be innovation as well.
It was reported that a mother of around 70 years was left abandoned in Anuradhapura.
This bo tree, which brings peace to the minds of many, was the only shelter for this mother last night. Another woman who had come with this old mother had left her alone at this location. According to what she says, she's the mother of 8 children. This mother said that she lived in the Akurats area in Mathura. The chief incumbent of the Samavihari in Anuradhapura was able to provide this mother with a meal.
After the morning alms arrived, the Buddha Puja was done and food was given to this mother to eat. The mother had not eaten for 2 or 3 days. We provided her with some breakfast. After the chief incumbent informed the Anuradhapura police regarding the incident, officials of the Women and Child Bureau arrived and took away the mother.
With that, we wrap up the news tonight. I'm Bernadine Jai Singh.
And I'm Nadim Majid. Good night and good luck.